Hello, everyone. Good morning and happy Wednesday. My name is Elena Riley, and thank you very much for joining me this morning at the First Alert 6 Streaming Center here. And I have our top headlines for you to go over this morning to get you ready for your day. So let's go head over there, get into my top headline for this morning. All right, here we are. So first off, the man accused of shooting Creighton baseball director Chris Gradiville to death in 2021 will be sentenced in court today. So back in May, Liddell Thornton was found not responsible by reason of insanity on all counts, including first-degree murder, use of a firearm to commit a felony, and possession of a gun by a prohibited person. And the sentencing ended a short bench trial where a judge is the sole decision maker here, and the judge also ordered that Thornton to remain in the Lincoln Regional Center. If Thornton is ever released from the center, he must first serve the sentence for a previous gun charge of possession of a deadly weapon by a prohibited person, and this offense carries up to 50 years in prison. So Gradiville, he was 37. He was found shot to death in September 2021 at a house near 61st and Pratt Streets. Thornton was Gradiville's tenant. There is some footage of him from back when he was a coach there. All right, up next, one of the women detained in an ICE raid at an Omaha meat processing plant is set to have a hearing in federal court today. So on June 10th, Glen Valley Foods was raided by immigration authorities and 77 workers were taken into custody. A few detainees were deported, but most were sent to Lincoln County. U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement released video from the raid where agents served a civil warrant, and the DOJ says an audit found some workers were using social security numbers that were not theirs. The ACLU of Nebraska tells First Alert 6 the woman cannot post the bond she's been granted because of an automatic stay from ICE. And just last month, a similar case took place in federal court. At that time, the prosecution told us that they knew of at least 16 people on an automatic stay that were being denied bond requests there. Next up is that next Friday there will be an interim hearing over the proposed ICE detention facility at the work ethic camp here in McCook, Nebraska. So Nebraska Senator Terrell McKinney made an announcement on Tuesday saying the interim hearing for LR 148 will take place on September 12th at 9 a.m. in room 1507 of the Nebraska State Capitol. This hearing is set to discuss any potential building code issues that may come up when switching this facility to the detention center. And Nebraska law states that all criminal detention facilities must conform to certain minimum standards of construction, maintenance, as well as operations. And the hearing will be held by the Nebraska Legislature Urban Affairs Committee, followed by a study to examine any issues within their jurisdiction. And then, in a letter that was sent last week, 13 senators say that Governor Jim Pillen's decision to use the camp in McCook raises serious policy, legal, fiscal, and practical questions. Moving along, this is a really big headline here, is that starting today, a new state law increasing the penalties for speeders on Nebraska roads will go into effect. So under this law, LB 530, driving double past the posted speed limit will be considered reckless driving, and drivers who go 1 to 5 miles per hour over the limit on these roads will face a $50 fine plus some court costs. Speeding 6 to 10 miles per hour will be a $75 fine, and if you speed beyond that, you could face up to a $400 fine there. The Douglas County Sheriff's Office reports a 34% spike in traffic deaths in 2024. This is moving from 50 fatalities in 2023 to up to 67 last year. And the Nebraska State Patrol is also urging drivers to please just slow down. The agency shared on social media at least 55 drivers were pulled over in the span of 2 weeks for speeding over 100 miles per hour. Wow, in our state. Next up, there's our John Chapman here. He's talking about medical marijuana here. There's continued outrage and frustration from those who organized the original medical marijuana drive in Nebraska. Arguments broke out during the public comment period during a Nebraska Medical Marijuana Commission meeting that happened yesterday. And our Chapman and Brian Mastery, they report that medical marijuana advocates accused the commission of dismantling what the people demanded at the ballot box back with their voting in November. And the commission is meeting to issue its rules and regulations for this industry. This includes staying with 12 dispensaries, one for every judicial district in the state. And opponents argue that that won't be nearly enough for Nebraska's population centers. Commission members say they have until October 1st to have the entire medical cannabis system in Nebraska up and running. So that is the next deadline for them. Last up here this morning, I have a very fun headline about the Henry Doorly Zoo. So let's go check it out on our website here. Very fun. That is that they are now home to 4 new juvenile Mexican spider monkeys. So check them out here. There they are. Oh my goodness. So they tell us that with a rescue effort, the monkeys were saved from illegal wildlife trafficking. Great news. And they were confiscated by wildlife authorities at the border of U.S. and Mexico. This happened last spring. And they were in a month-long quarantine. Now after that, they are now settling into their area in the lead jungle. So they are ready to go be seen by you. If you want to go visit the zoo, there they are. I had a caller this morning tell me that the monkeys here looked like the Beatles cover, so I really loved that. That was amazing. So let me know if you agree. That's awesome. Glad they are doing safe. They're now here in our zoo, one of the best zoos in the country. Amazing. Alrighty, that is all the headlines I have for you this morning. I bring you this live stream on weekdays at around 8 a.m. as well as this web story around 6 a.m. To get you started with your day. So thank you very much for doing that with me. That is all I have for you this morning. Thank you.